Electoral bond is a system introduced in India to facilitate donations to political parties. It allows individuals and companies to purchase bonds from specified branches of State Bank of India and donate them to the political party of their choice. The political parties have to encash these bonds only through a bank account verified by the Election Commission within a stipulated time. The main purpose of introducing electoral bonds was to bring transparency in political funding and to curb the use of black money in elections. Before the introduction of electoral bonds, political funding in India primarily relied on cash donations, which had several disadvantages. 1. Lack of transparency. Cash donations were often made in an opaque manner, with no official record or documentation, making it difficult to track the source and amount of funding received by political parties. 2. Possibility of corruption. The absence of a transparent system for political donations opened the door to corruption, as parties could potentially accept illegal or undisclosed funds in exchange for political favors. 3. Influence of black money. Cash donations provided a convenient avenue for the flow of black money into politics. Black money, which refers to income illegally obtained or not declared for tax purposes, could be used to fund political campaigns and influence elections without leaving a paper trail. 4. Lack of accountability. Without proper documentation and regulation, there was little accountability in the use of funds by political parties, leading to concerns about misuse and mismanagement of resources. Overall, the pre-electoral bond method of political funding allowed for the unchecked influence of black money in politics, undermining the integrity of the electoral process and eroding public trust in democratic institutions. Now, let's look at how electoral bonds have prevented the flow of black money into politics, or how they outperform previous methods. 1. Transparent transactions. Electoral bonds require donations to political parties to be made through official banking channels, providing a transparent and traceable record of the transaction. This transparency makes it more difficult for donors to use black money to fund political parties discreetly. 2. Legal framework. Electoral bonds are legal instruments authorized by the government, which means that political donations must comply with regulations set by the Election Commission of India. This legal framework helps prevent the use of illicit funds in political funding. 3. Accountability. By mandating donations to be made through banks, electoral bonds ensure that donors are held accountable for their contributions. This accountability reduces the likelihood of donors using black money to influence political parties. 4. Monitoring by regulatory authorities. Electoral bonds are subject to scrutiny by regulatory authorities, such as the Reserve Bank of India and the Income Tax Department, who can monitor transactions to detect any suspicious activity or misuse of funds. Thus, the introduction of electoral bonds has helped to create a more transparent and accountable system for political funding in India, thereby reducing the flow of black money into politics and promoting the integrity of the electoral process. However, the system has also faced criticism, with some arguing that it still lacks full transparency, as the identity of donors remains confidential. Additionally, there are concerns about the influence of corporate donors on political parties. Overall, while electoral bonds represent a step towards reforming political funding in India, there is still room for improvement to ensure greater transparency and accountability in the electoral process.